Hey gamers, and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna have the Monolith guide part 2 out of 3 parts we are going to do. So today we're gonna talk about blessings, corruptions, and empowered monoliths. So let's start first with blessings. As already mentioned in the first part, we cannot mess something up with blessings. Make sure to also check out that video. But yeah, let's go into blessings. First of all, what are they? So as an example, here's a blessing that gives gold drop rate. So that means whenever on this character I drop gold, it is just gonna be increased. So instead of dropping 10k gold, I probably drop 17k gold. So there's other blessings that give me like void resistances as an example, or any other resistances as well. Crit avoidance. There's some blessings that give me damage. As an example, here we get minion damage. I'm a summoner, so this is really good for me. There's also blessings that give experience and other stuff. First of all, those blessings are counting in every area. So that means if we have the gold blessing over here, and we kill monsters in the stolen lands, we also have an increased gold drop chance. So that means we are getting more gold everywhere where we are. We also gonna always have our resistances capped as an example if we get the resistance things. They count everywhere. Why do we have gold over here and void resistance over here? Why just not another gold? This is because all those blessings are fixed on a certain island. So Fall of the Outcast as an example can give you gold drop rate, increased experience rate, and some other stuff. Black Sun can give you void resistance, any other resistance as well, and something else as well. So you cannot get every blessing on every island. There need to be specific islands where you just gonna try to get your blessing. Then as an example, another example, Stolen Lands gives you shard drop chances, I think. Well, I don't really need that, so I don't even have a blessing over there yet. I didn't even focus on that. There is websites on the internet where you can check where to get what blessing from what area. So we're just gonna put a link in the description below. They are really easy to check. You're just gonna type in the search field as an example Fall of the Outcast and you see all the blessings that can spawn there. Most of the max roll guides have like blessings that you want to get, such as an example, critical strike avoidance for the most builds, or maybe they just want any specific resistance here because they wear gear where it is really hard to get those resistance on them, so you just want that resistance. So for the guides, you can just check what blessings you need, and then you can just compare with the website in order to where can I farm the min-maxed blessings that I want. That's basically the whole blessing system, how it works. There's something else. We have normal monoliths and empowered monoliths. Well, we didn't talk about empowered monoliths yet, but that will come directly after this. But for now, blessings have two different tiers, kinda. In normal blessings, you can get, as an example, a gold drop rate from 1% to 40%, and then in empowered monoliths, you can get it from 40 to 70%. Which is then the max roll, right? So you cannot go higher than that. It has a max roll. And so because of that, like we want to rush to empowered monoliths. Well, we're gonna tell you how that works and then farm our blessings. There's no point in min-maxing your blessings in normal monoliths unless you play, as an example, hardcore and you have a really hard time to go to empowered monoliths because you are just risking to die. But other than this, there's no point for us to min-max our blessings in normal. Also, always, if you chose a blessing, as an example, I have gold drop rate here, and I'm gonna do the boss again, I can change this blessing. If I had gold drop rate on a normal monolith already, and I do now an empowered monolith, I can still override the old gold drop rate with the new one. You always have 4 blessings to choose from, so there's like 10 difference in an area, so it will spawn 4. And if you are at 200 corruption is another thing we're gonna talk about pretty soon, then you have 5 options. So basically, you wanna go to empowered monoliths, then increase your corruption to 200. How to do that, we're gonna talk about later. And then you're gonna farm your blessings in all the different zones to min-max your blessings. And that's basically how you do it. That's all you need to know about it, and then just use the website to see what blessings you actually need on the guides and where to get them from on the other website we're gonna post in the description below. And that's it for blessings. So now let's move on to empowered monoliths. All right, let's talk now about empowered monoliths. First, we're gonna talk about how to reach them. Reaching them is really simple. You see the connections between these islands here. So first, you're gonna start with normal monoliths. You always kill the boss, make a connection, go to the next island, as we already talked about in part 1 of this video series. So now we are here in this area. So basically we can go from here to all the 3 islands. They are level 90. And we need to do each of the islands. So we need to do Age of Winter, kill the boss. We need to do Last Ruin, kill the boss. Same for Spirits of Fire. And after we killed the last boss, and it doesn't matter in which order we do it, we can also start with Spirit of Fire, it really doesn't matter. But as soon as we did it, we can basically go here to the middle, there's like a console, we click on it, and as soon we are clicking on it, it's a quest. As soon we did that, we basically can always choose empowered monoliths. We can still go into normal ones, as you can see here. I could still go into the normal one. For whatever reason I will do that. Maybe you play hardcore and you think you're not good enough yet for empowered, even you have them activated already. Also for hardcore players, the spike, like the damage spike and the health and all that stuff is a lot higher in empowered monoliths. So if you can just barely do level 90 monoliths, then just don't go to empowered yet if you're in hardcore and you're just risking to die. Make sure you have a good build, and then you can enter those. Alright, so basically we can choose between normal and empowered. Obviously we're gonna choose empowered, and I did some progress here already. What do we see here? We still have the stability. Again, if you don't know what it is, just check part 1. We are not going into the specifics of the part 1 video guide because this is part 2, right? So we see stability. Our quest thingy has changed a little bit. We can click on here and we see the 2 first quests, but we never have to do them again. They are just a time waste. I don't even know why we have that option. We can just always go max stability and go straight to the boss. And we have corruption on top of here. We also have corruption in the normal monoliths, but they are just not worth to farm. Before we're gonna talk about corruption, because this is going to be the last topic, we're gonna talk more specifically about empowered monoliths. Empowered monoliths start directly with 100 corruption though, and corruption is just making the monsters even stronger. Right? That's all you need to know about corruption for now, and we go into more specifics later. That means we have level 100 monsters, and they are already stronger than level 100 monsters because they get increased damage and health. Other than this, we still have the normal islands with all the icons. We know that already. There's nothing really special about that, but we have some different things. Sadly, yeah, we do not have something special right now. We just have this here, which is just letting us to reset the corruption, so this is for the later thing. But there's, like, as an example, icons like this, but they are in red. And what they basically do is they're gonna change all the rewards from the islands. As an example, there's also one that is blue, which is just reactivating all the islands that we did. So if this would be the blue one, right, and we take this, that means we can go to all the islands here that we already completed again and get the same rewards again. Let's say now this is the red pillar, and this is basically changing the rewards from our uncompleted islands. So as you see over here, this gives me a unique item. So let's say we basically did the red thingy, and this is changing this now. So this could be gold after that, or idols, or runes, glyphs, whatever, but everywhere. So we can also just see all the connected ones. So this could be gold, and we just go there because, well, normally we would go up, but this is gold now, so it's really good. There's idols, so it's really, really good. So it changes all the islands. So that are the 2 different thingies that are actually happening to your islands. You basically have stuff to reallocate rewards or just do them again. This is specifically into empowered monoliths. And then the boss fight is a bit different as well. While this is going to be more a corruption thingy. But yeah, again, for empowered monoliths, we can just do directly the boss as soon as we have stability. We also need more stability. We need 850 here in empowered monoliths, so it's just higher. In normal monoliths, I think it was like 450 or something like that. So it's a bit more, right? So you need to do more islands till you can go to the boss. So this is it for the empowered monoliths in specific. And now we're gonna talk about corruptions. So we already know that corruption makes the monsters stronger and give them more health and more damage, right? This is not the reason why we do corruption. but that's the downside of it. The upside is we get increased item rarity and increased experience. So basically experience level 1 to 100, obviously it makes sense, we just level faster, but also experience gives us favor. The more experience we get from monsters, the more favor we get. This is also basically just meaning that if we have a higher corruption, we get more favor, XP and favor. Then increased item rarity is basically also simple to understand. We drop a normal item and let's say it has a 10% chance to be a unique item, which is not the case. Let's say it's a dagger. It has a 10% chance to be a unique dagger. Then we have 300%, so that means instead of this 10% chance, we have a 30% chance for it to be a unique dagger. So we will find a lot more exalted items. The same example counts for exalted items or rare items or whatnot. So we find a lot more exalted items, a lot more unique items. We don't find more items overall, we just find a lot more high value items, so a lot more items that are showing on our loot filter that we can sell or have a higher chance that it is an upgrade, right? So more rarity is always good for us. Things that rarity is not working towards is the gold as an example. There's some people that think you get more gold the more corruption you have. This is not true, since item rarity just increases the items. It's not meaning for gold. I don't know if I have a gold island over here, but yeah, whatever. Let's just imagine this will be a gold icon area. And we tested this. We tested it with a lot of islands. And with 300 corruption, we got the same amount of gold on every gold island in average than with 100 corruption. The gap is not as big as like between 100 corruption and 1000 corruption or so. It's still really big, right? It should still show us any results. And we was always in average around 20k gold per island that we got. Doesn't matter if it was 100 corruption or 300 corruption. So this is simply not increasing the amount of gold you get. That's just what it is. On the other side, right, we still get more gold if you play the trading league and gold actually matters to you. We get more gold in terms of we are getting more unique items that we can sell, more exalted items that we can sell. And if you are not sure about what items to sell on the market, we're gonna make a video about it, right? This video is going to change your loot filters. This video is going to change what you pick up, and you're gonna be rich as okay? You're gonna be rich. And then there's idols, where I'm not really sure if increased item rarity does something for it. Technically, it will not, since increased item rarity doesn't change the stats on an item. There is stats on an item that are more rare to appear. As an example, Shadow Dagger Penetration is more rare to spawn in an item than plus Dexterity or something, right? They are weighted. Item rarity doesn't increase that. It just makes, instead of a white dagger, it's going to be an exalted dagger or something. For idols, I don't think it's gonna change anything. Of course, there's also rare stats on idols and non-rare stats on idols that you find way more often. But again, that's not where item rarity is there for. And I think like the small idols and the bigger idols just have the same spawn chance. I don't think that item rarity is doing something for it. I could be wrong on this, right? I just don't know it. There's also not really a way to test it exactly. Like you can do a few islands with idols on 300, on 100, but then you will not really see the difference. Like you could just be lucky and get better idols, right? You will need to test it with like 100 or 1000 plus islands. So I'm not gonna do that, right? So for idols, we are not sure. Maybe someone in the comment section knows it, right? Just if you know it, just write it down. Give the reason why you think you know it so people can see if it's actually true, right? But yeah, I just don't know it. That is basically item rarity and experience. And then how we actually increase our corruption is pretty simple. As you can see, this is our starting point. We made all the way up over here and we found this thing over here, which is Orobis. Orobis is a mini boss fight. You can also find him in normal monoliths. We just don't push corruption there, so it doesn't really matter to us, right? Maybe you push corruption if you're in hardcore and you can't go to empowered monoliths yet, so you can still listen to this for your normal monoliths. But in general, it's not the case that you even care about him in normal monoliths. Well, here's a mini boss fight. He has 10 different abilities he can choose to make. If you encounter him on this island, he will always do the same 3 or 4 or whatever attacks and never gonna change it. So if he's doing like a meteorite and you just die to him, he is going to have this meteorite ability again in the next fight. If you find another island of him, he maybe doesn't have that ability but something else, okay? That's just simply how it works. If you have a really hard Ouroboros fight and you was killing them really easy before, and you just have a problem with an ability, you can try to find another one, and maybe he doesn't have that ability, so he's easier for you. We kill him, and we normally get a corruption increase from it. So for me, it says under Echo Rewards, bottom right, +4 corruption, +26 bonus corruption, and +10 corruption from Gaze of Ouroboros. We are not looking at the bonus corruption. I'm just gonna explain real quick what that is. I have another island where I have 400 corruption. Corruption is always bind on the islands you do. So let's say I have 300 corruption here, then I always have 300 corruption on Last Ruin. I have 400 corruptions on Age of Winter, then I always have 400 corruptions there. So this bonus corruption is just a catch-up mechanic. So if I have an island that is higher on corruption, I can level the other ones faster as well. So it will make sense to choose one island that you want to farm for something, and maybe a blessing, maybe a unique item. And then you can catch up with the other islands later a lot faster. So this is just a catch-up mechanic, but we are not talking about this. This is just how it works. I mean, it's really simple to understand. Then the +4 corruption is the base corruption you get from him. If you go farther now over here, there will be other Ouroboros as well. They basically give a bit more base corruption. So maybe they give you +8 corruption. Right, this is the corruption you always get once you defeat him. And then there's the corruption from Gaze of Ouroboros. How do we get this Gaze of Ouroboros? Because you see we have one here. It's simple. We kill the boss, we get +1 Gaze of Ouroboros. We kill him a second time, we have 2 Gaze of Ouroboros. We do the mini boss, we have 0 Gaze of Ouroboros, but he gave us +20 corruption, or like +10 because we just have 1 gaze. The gazes are making the mini bosses harder. Like maybe you think, okay, I'm gonna kill the boss 10 times because I found him already, and then I'm gonna do him with +10 gazes of Ouroboros, but then he's really, really hard and can easily kill you, right? It depends on your build and your strength, on how many gazes you want to build up before you encounter him. And also, if you die to him once, the mini boss, the Ouroboros, if you die to him once, all your gazes are gone. If you have 2 gazes and you just die to him, well, then you just wasted your 2 boss fights. Like the world progress you made to have 2 boss fights to get 2 gazes is wasted, because after that he only gives us +4 corruption plus the bonus corruption, but that doesn't really matter because we are not looking at it. Right? You basically have to decide for yourself if you're strong enough to kill him with gazes or not. At the start it's probably really, really easy, and the farther you increase your corruption, you will maybe find yourself having some troubles fighting against him. It is just maybe worth to like not even build up gazes, right? You're still gonna do the boss because bosses have special loot drops. And yeah, you get sometimes gazes then that way before you find him. But if you die, you're not gonna build up gazes again. You just kill him until he's done to increase your corruption a little bit. You have to see that, right? Depends on you. I cannot tell you like what you can do or not. I don't know your gear, I don't know your build. That's basically how corruption works. There's ways on how to min-max how fast you get corruption. There's ways on how to min-max that you reach empowered monolith, so like the true end game, faster. But this is for part 3 of this video series. Make sure to leave a subscribe and all that stuff other YouTubers are saying. And thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.